Guys, we have major breaking news in the MCU. Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars have both been delayed, so here's everything we know about their new official release dates and how this affects the rest of the MCU going forward, because the changes are absolutely massive. I promise I won't waste your time, but in case you were unaware, Avengers Doomsday only began filming at the end of April of this year, and it was scheduled to release next year in May 2026, meaning pretty much a full year was all they had to film, edit, do CGI, which did seem like a very fast pace. Well, today the first domino officially fell, and now the movie has been delayed a full 7 months back to December 18th of 2026, meaning it's going to be a holiday release. So obviously the effects within the MCU are crazy, but this also means the film's also going to be competing with like Dune Messiah and Shrek 5 at the box office. Obviously Doomsday will still probably make the most out of all of these, but definitely notable. Now obviously Avengers Secret Wars was scheduled to come out in May 2027, 1 year after Doomsday, so now that has also been delayed too, because obviously if Doomsday got pushed back, this had to as well. Now, this is the even crazier thing for the future of the MCU. This movie, Avengers Secret Wars, is not releasing until December 17th of 2027, so still keeping that year distance, but now this is way longer away, which leaves lots of questions about the future of the MCU, because now their upcoming films that they have confirmed are only the Fantastic Four First Steps in July of this year. Now we have a full year jump until next July 2026 for Spider-Man Brand New Day, which was originally going to come out after Avengers Doomsday. Now it's coming out first, so that pretty much confirms that film's going to be ground level, or they're going to have to change it and make it ground level, or just delay that film in general. Then the only other films we know of right now are in December 2026 Avengers Doomsday, and now nothing in 2027 until Avengers Secret Wars. Now I'm sure they're going to try to get something else out there, but if they weren't planning for more films in between the Avengers films, that's going to be really difficult. Like I said, Spider-Man Brand New Day is the biggest film affected by this, because a lot of people were assuming this is going to be ground level, and the new villain leak that we got does pretty much confirm that. But we were pretty much guaranteed to have some tie-in in the post-credit scene or ending to the events of Doomsday with this film, with it being after Avengers Doomsday. Now that's all going to be gone, and we have no idea how Spider-Man's going to tie in between both of these films, if he's at a ground level movie here and then somehow pulled into the Avengers film. And just last week I made a video covering reports saying that apparently they wanted Tom Holland's Spider-Man in Avengers Doomsday, but the deal wasn't fully worked out with Sony, so who knows, maybe it got partially delayed to get that worked out and figure out how he's going to play into both Doomsday, Brand New Day, and Secret Wars. It could also just simply be scheduling conflicts, because as we know, only about like half of the cast has actually been revealed, and that's still a ton of different big name A-list actors. If they want a bunch of other returning actors, maybe they just simply could not work out a way to get them all in this 1 year time frame, and they figured, hey, we have to delay it if we want to bring all these people back. There was a rumor going around last week that didn't seem too credible, so I didn't make a video on it, but it was talking about the fact that, hey, when Marvel initially announced this next slate of films, there was an untitled film scheduled to come out in November of 2026 after Doomsday and Brand New Day, but before Avengers Secret Wars, and people were saying, hey, that's probably going to be like Doctor Strange 3 or something. So if there was any semblance of truth to that, maybe they'll put that film out in like the summer of 2027, because I'm sorry, you cannot tell me Marvel is going an entire year without putting out a live action film in between two Avengers films. It's too much of a money glitch putting something out in between them. We saw that with Captain Marvel coming out in between Infinity War and Endgame. It made $1 billion because people are like, well, I gotta go and see this now. We also know there were loose plans of an X-Men movie coming after Secret Wars. People are saying maybe it would be in like December 2027 or early 2028. But if they're not going to be introduced until Secret Wars, this is probably going to be pushed back another year at least, maybe not even until like 2029 to get this film in the MCU. Obviously, Beyond the Spider-Verse isn't affected by this, don't be worried, but it's just kind of crazy now that Beyond the Spider-Verse, we know, is officially coming out July of 2027, so unless this gets delayed, we're going to see this in between the Avengers films, even though it's most likely going to have absolutely no connection. Now, it is incredibly disappointing, but I do think this is for the best, because as I mentioned, 1 year of filming, if you have everything planned out and perfectly ready to go, and you had a lot of like the CGI getting prepped before you started filming, you can get a film of this scale done in a year. But it really didn't seem like that was the case with Doomsday. Like, they just barely finished the script, if it was even finished when they started filming. Of course, we have so many different actors. Like I said, who knows if all of them were even signed on. I think this is a good thing. It gives them plenty of time, make sure everything's fully fleshed out. They'll get to have all the actors they need, the CGI and visual effects artists who did just have a new contract that got ratified, so maybe that has something to play into it. but I'm glad it gives them more time to work without being like way overdone with their hours, and they can actually make something that looks very good. Let me know your theories. What movies do you think are going to come out in between these new Avengers films now? Do you think they're just going to not have anything in 2027? It's going to be a crazy couple of years. You know I'll keep you updated on every single step of the way. If you want to see all the different updates about Spider-Man 4's new confirmed villains, click the video at the top of the screen, or for more Doomsday videos, click the video at the bottom.